Hello student, today again I'm going to start chapter 2nd. Topic is Indian economy from your book Indian Economic Development. This is part 3. In this video I'm going to discuss about agriculture sector. Basically 2 points: role or importance of agriculture sector and problem or feature of agriculture sector. So let us start with the role or importance of agriculture sector. So first is contribution to GDP. What is the meaning of this of heading contribution to GDP? So it's mean that how much domestic income we are earning from agriculture sector. So this is contribution to GDP. Okay. In 1950 to 51, we are earning 51% from our agriculture sector. Our GDP contribution of agriculture sector is 51%. In which year? In 1950 to 51. But in 2018 to 19, the contribution of agriculture sector, whatever income we are earning from agriculture sector, it is only 14.4%. So you can see that there is decline over time. Okay, but it does not indicate decline in importance of agriculture. It does not explain that there is a decline in importance of agriculture sector. It is still very important. This decrease in contribution is because our secondary and tertiary sector has faster growth. That's why. Okay. Suppose in 1951 we are earning 100 crore. So 51 rupees we are getting from agriculture sector. Okay. But now in 2019 to 18, suppose we are earning 1000 crore. Okay student, we are earning 10,000 crore. Okay, and our agriculture contribution is suppose 1000. So obviously from here to here it is increased. If you talk about the figure or number, value, so it has increased. But if you talk about the percentage, so in total 10,000 crore, we are getting more money from the secondary and tertiary sector in compared to agriculture sector. But still GDP is very the contribution of agriculture sector in GDP is still very important. Okay student, now second topic is source of food grain or supply of wage good. You can write any one heading. Okay, what is the meaning of source of food grain or supply of wage good? So wage good or food grains means staple food. Staple food means wheat, rice, okay, and pulse, all fruits, vegetables. All these things we are getting from where? We are getting from agriculture sector. Okay, and one thing student, we can never produce, we are not able to produce wheat, rice in farm or industry. Always it is going to be produced where? It is going to be produced in farm. In where? In agriculture sector. Okay, so in India, where 121 crore people are living, they are getting their food grain requirement from where? From agriculture sector. And no sector can produce wheat and rice. No sector can produce staple food. Industrial sector can never produce wheat and rice. It is never possible. In this way the importance of agriculture sector is too much. Okay, because food is our basic requirement. Without food we cannot survive, and food we get from where? We get from agriculture sector. So in this way the importance of agriculture sector is very much. Okay, next topic, source of employment. So in India still Still 50% of working population in India getting their earning, yeah, they getting their income from where? From agriculture sector. And if you talk about the rural area, in rural area 80% people are getting their earning from agriculture sector. So in this way majority of employment opportunity is provided by which sector? Agriculture sector. Okay, so in this way agriculture sector is again very important. From which point of view? From employment point of view. Okay, now next is supply of raw material. So all the industry, a majority of industry gets their raw material from where, student? They get their raw material from agriculture sector. They get their raw materials from where? From agriculture sector. For example, if you take the example textile industry, so textile industry got cotton from where? Get cotton from agriculture sector. Same way if you talk about oil industry, okay, so they get oil seeds from where? They get mustard oil, mustard seeds, and um, olive seeds. These seeds from where? From agriculture sector. Same way sugar mills, if you take example of sugar mills, they produce sugar with the help of what? With the help of the sugar cane. And sugar cane from where you get? So they get from agriculture sector. In the same way if you talk about jute industry, so jute industry get raw jute from where? From agriculture sector. So in this way industry is depend upon, all industries are, majority of industries depend upon for their raw material on agriculture sector. Or remember one thing, you are having a good infrastructure, you are having a good firm, you are having good labors, skilled labor, you are having equipment, machinery, but you are not having raw material. So there is any possibility of production? No. If suppose there is sugar mill, it is working, it is having good efficiency, but there is not sugar cane, so how they can do the production of sugar? So in this way all industries and development of industries, growth of industries depend upon agriculture sector. So in this way agriculture sector is again very very important for what? Development of industrial sector. Why? Because they get their raw material from where? From agriculture sector. Okay, next is source of demand for industrial good. So our industrial sector produces two type of good. Okay student, our industrial sector produces two type of good: consumer goods and capital goods. So this capital goods are demanded by agriculture sector. So who is major purchaser of these capital goods? Agriculture sector. Take the example of tractor, harvester, thresher machine. These agriculture sector is the main buyer of these product. Who is the main buyer of these product? Agriculture sector. Okay, so tractor, harvester machine are demanded exclusively by the agriculture sector. Thus agriculture prosperity leads to industrial prosperity. Okay, so capital goods, whatever capital goods, especially like tractor, harvester machine, thresher machine, there are many equipment for spraying for insecticides, pesticides. So all these things are produced in industrial sector, and who are going to consume it? Agriculture sector. So in this way the prosperity of industrial sector depend upon agriculture sector. Okay, next is contribution to international trade. On the eve of independence, we are exporter of raw material. Okay, and we are exporter of raw material, but now it is not that condition. We are exporting engineering good also. We are we are providing many service activities also. Okay, but still the contribution of agriculture sector is still significant, are very important. You can see with the help of this data. Okay, in 2018 to 19, the share of agriculture sector in total export of the country stood at 11.76%. So in this way, in international trade, it is having a special rank or a special position. If we talk about the export goods, so agriculture goods is still having very important or significant place. Still we are exporting what? We are exporting tea, jute, cashew nut, tobacco, coffee and other things. Okay, so in this way, for international trade, for the growth of export, for increase in export, we are depend upon also agriculture sector. Okay student, now next is contribution to domestic trade. What is domestic trade? Domestic trade, the trade, yani trade means purchasing and selling, the work of purchasing and selling that is done within the country, that is known as a domestic trade. So obviously only one state is not able to produce all the things itself. Like take the example of UP. In UP there is not too much production of onion, so from where we are going to purchase? We are going to purchase from Maharashtra. Okay, they are a major producer of onion. So in this way we are going to purchase onion from Maharashtra. Okay, same way Maharashtra, if they whatever bakery industries were there, so are there, so if they want to purchase wheat, so they can purchase it from where? From UP or from Punjab, because they are major producer of wheat and rice. Okay, so in this way all the state do whatever they are purchasing and selling, majority of item is related to agricultural product. Okay, so majority of trading item is agricultural product. Okay, so what written here? Huge expenditure in India occurred on the purchase of farm product needed by more than billion people in the country. So we are 121 crore people are living in India. So obviously majority of people and major portion of our income is expended on which? On agriculture product. Okay, so in this way agriculture again going to be very important for us. Okay, for our economy. Now next is support to transport industry. So I had told you na ki every state is not able to produce everything itself. We are going to purchase it from other state, like jute, basically if you talk about the textile industry, so Surat or Gujarat is a leading, having a leading role in that. Okay, if you talk about the wheat, so UP, Punjab, okay, Bihar, so wheat, in the production of wheat, in the production of rice, we are having a leading position. If you talk about the onions, so Maharashtra is having a leading position. Okay, so in this way different part of our country having different leading producers. So when we want to purchase it, we needed to transport it. So in this way farming product or agriculture product again playing a significant role for tertiary sector or for the development of transport industry. Okay, here you can see railway and roadways are the bulk carrier or of farm product in India, and implying that agriculture is a significant source of demand of transportation industry. Now next next topic is, next importance of agriculture sector is wealth of nation. A significant component of country's wealth belonging to agriculture sector. In terms of fixed assets, it is having highest rank in India. Okay student, now let me discuss the next topic, features of Indian economy or problems of Indian economy. In most of the book, both topic are explained, are discussed separately, but I'm going to discuss it together. Why? Because both are having the same headings. Okay, so that's why for your convenience we are going to learn these two things together. Okay, if an examination question is about feature of Indian economy, again going to, you are going to write the same topics. If you question is about problem of Indian agriculture, so again you are going to write same headings. So let us start. First is low level of productivity. In India, productivity is very low. What is productivity? So in the first chapter I had explained it in very proper manner, but again, productivity means what? Per hectare production. Productivity is related to per hectare production. In India, per hectare production and per worker productivity both are below the level of advanced country. And what it indicates? It clearly indicates agriculture is still backward. So for support of this statement, I'm going to use this table. Here you can see it is the comparative look of April 2014. So in this table you can see, if you we are going to only discuss about rice and wheat, so we can see ki per hectare production, that is explained in ton. So in India, per hectare we are able to produce 3.6 ton, okay, of output. And in China, if you talk about 6.8, so it is double, approximately double. If you talk about the wheat, so in India 3.1, on the China it is 6.5, so more than double. So in this way you can see our productivity is low, our production is low, and that is why our agriculture sector is still backward. Okay, now next is disguised unemployment. What is disguised unemployment? Okay, so I'm going to explain it with one example. Suppose there is a farmer, his name is Ram. Okay, Ram is having a land. Okay, and if it is a 1 hectare land, if suppose he uses 10 labor and he is able to produce 100 quintal wheat. Okay student, now if Ram take out four labors, now next time he is only going to use 6 labor, he is only going to use 6 labor, and still there is production of 100 quintal wheat. So in this way, when there is 10 laborers are working, there is production of 100 quintal wheat. When we are using only 6 labor, still there is 100 quintal wheat. So in this way, these 4 workers, their marginal productivity is what? Their marginal productivity is 0. In this way, their contribution is what? Their contribution is 0. So this is known as a disguised unemployment. If few people are working and some people you take away from the work and still total production is same, so this is known as a disguised unemployment. Like in this example, when 10 workers are working, 100 quintal are production. When 6 workers are working, still there is 100 quintal production. It's mean 4 workers are not doing anything. So this is known as a disguised unemployment. Okay student, so disguised unemployment is a situation of hidden unemployment. It occurs when the number of the person engaged on a piece of land is much higher than what is actually needed. So apparently all are employed, but in reality many are unemployment. Okay, so even when some are withdrawal, total output will not fall like that. If there are 10 workers are working, 100 quintal are production. When 6 are working, still there are 100 quintal production. So this is the condition of disguised unemployment or hidden unemployment. Okay, and this is the feature of our agriculture sector, or you can see also it is the problem of our agriculture sector. In the time of COVID-19, you are seeing in the news that thousands of labor are moving back to UP, moving back to Bihar. So you can understand this problem is going to be more worse in near future. Okay, so it is the characteristic of our agriculture sector. What? Disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment is what? When we are take away few people and still there is no change in our total production, it's mean there is the problem of disguised unemployment. Now next is, what is next feature or next problem of our agriculture sector? Dependence on rainfall. Still irrigation facility is not good. That time is still irrigation facility is not available, and on the eve of independence, majority, yeah, mostly farmer are dependent upon for water on rainfall, okay, on weather. So that is why here written, if crop production is highly uncertain, good rainfall means good crop, bad rainfall means bad rainfall. Why? Because there is irrigation facility is not significant, or it is insignificant when irrigation facility is not available as it require. So majority of farmers are dependent upon rainfall for their water requirement. If rainfall is good, it's mean there will be good crop. If bad rainfall means bad crop. Okay, student. Next, subsistence farming. What is the meaning of subsistence farming? And it is very, very important. Take it. It is very important from my side. This time in board examination, no doubt this question is going to be asked. Okay, so prepare it. What is subsistence farming? It can be asked in 1 marks also, and it can be asked in 3 marks also. Okay, so first of all we are going to understand what is the meaning of subsistence farming. It refers to farming in which the crops are produced to meet the basic need of the family with the little surplus for the marketing. Let we understand with one example. Okay, suppose Ram is having one land, and in his family there are 5 members, and total requirement of wheat in a year is 6 quintal. Okay, and now he is able to produce 6.5 quintal or only 6 quintal. So this condition is known as a subsistence farming. What is subsistence farming? Whatever family requirement we are only produced to that much. जितनी हमारी ज़रूरत हो हम केवल उतना प्रोडक्शन कर पाएँ, तो दैट कंडीशन इज़ नोन एज अ सबसिस्टेंस फार्मिंग. लाइक Ram having 5 member and total requirement of wheat is 6 quintal, and he is able to produce how much? He is able to produce only 6.5 or only 6. So this is the condition of subsistence farming. Okay, so when there is subsistence farming, so it's mean that production is meant for self consumption. Yani the farmer is only able to produce this much, then they can fulfill their family requirement. Okay, if 5 quintal they are requiring, they are only able to produce 5 quintal. Okay, so this type of farming is known as a subsistence farming. Or little surplus, like he is able to produce 6 quintal, only 1 quintal. So when he is going to sell 1 quintal, there he is not going to get too much money. Okay, so in this way this type of farming is known as a subsistence farming. Yani the farming that is only for survival, you are not going to earn any profit. Okay, so it means that farming in India is not much commercial in nature, and it fails to generate surplus for investment. It leads to stagnation in agriculture sector. Okay, so this is the basic reason of stagnation of our agriculture sector. Farmer are not able to produce more than their requirement. Okay, they are able to produce very little surplus. Okay, so in this way they are not, when they are going to sell, suppose 1 quintal, their requirement is 5 quintal, they are producing 6 quintal. When they sell 1 quintal, they are able to get 1 or 2,000. So it is not sufficient amount. Okay, so in this way they are not able to invest money in farming, and in this way they are not able to do profitable farming. Now next, lack of modern input. So why we are having subsistence farming? The reason, this is the basic reason, lack of modern input. Majority of the people that time, they are not using fertilizer, chemicals, insecticides, pesticides, they are not using. So that is why they are using conventional way of farming, with the help of the cow dung, with the help of the uh, mm, ox, buffalo. So they are using totally traditional way of farming. So because of that, production productivity both are low, and they are only to produce according to their family requirement, means subsistence farming. Okay, so there is lack of modern input, like chemical, fertilizer, insecticide and pesticide. Because of that, bulk of farming population in India is extremely poor. Now next problem, our next feature is small holding. Small holding is the another feature. So a small holding is a characteristic feature of Indian agriculture, and it is also a problem. Small holding are hindrance in the process of growth in two way. How? Because we are not able to make the use of machine. Second thing, ki they are only able to do subsistence farming. Okay, so uh, like you take this photographs, these area these area explain that this is the land of one person, this is the land of another person, this is the land of third person. So obviously if there will be such type of small farming, so we are not able, yeah, it will be more expensive when we are going to use a tractor. We are not able to, that is not meaningful ki we are going to use tractor, yeah, we are using a thresher machines on such land. So small land holding is big problem that time. Okay, and why we are having this problem? Because of our tradition. If in a family a person is having two boy, so the whatever land he is having, it is going to be divided into two boys. Again, suppose these two boys having two children, so again it is going to divide, again it is going to divide. So because of that, there is the problem of small holding. Okay, and because of this small holding, we are not able to use modern way of farming, and because of that, we are able to only do subsistence farming, means we are able to produce only that much, that is our requirement. Okay. Okay, thank you student. In the next video we are going to learn about how we overcome to these problem. Okay, whatever reforms done by the government. Okay, thank you.